UFC light heavyweight fighter Wanderlei Silva admitted he took banned substances and fled a drug test. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by ESPN MMA writer Brett Okamoto. Brett, Silva was taking diuretics. What's that do for a fighter?
Well, typically when you see diuretics being used in combat sports, it's for one of two things. It's to quickly cut weight, because as you know, these guys are in weight categories. A lot of them do cut a tremendous amount of weight. Sometimes they have difficulties with it. Diuretics at the 11th hour can help them get down to a contracted weight, or they can mask PED use. They can do that in other sports as well. In combat sports, a fighter who's been taking steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, sometimes can mask that in a drug test by using a diuretic. One thing that diuretics are typically not prescribed for are wrist injuries, fractured wrist injuries, which is what Wanderlei Silva said he was taking them for. So it's yet to be seen what the Nevada Commission will do with that, but that was not a good excuse, I guess, for Wanderlei to say that he was using it for a bone injury, a diuretic.
Brett, you mentioned not a great excuse from Silva. Are there any connections between Silva and PEDs?
Well, unless you really have like the test results to form a solid connection, or someone just comes and fesses up, yeah, I was taking performance-enhancing drugs. It's like the legal system. You have to treat these fighters innocent until proven guilty. But this does not look good for Wanderlei Silva. He is looking at a suspension moving forward, probably in the range of 6 months, 9 months, even up to a year. Again, this excuse that he gave is going to be very hard to verify when he gets back in front of the Nevada Commission. What happened this week was that Wanderlei just came out and gave some statements on what happened with that test. His sentence will then be set at a future hearing. I got to believe the Nevada Commission will suspend him again for at least 6 months, maybe up to a year.
If he's suspended for at least 6 months, up to a year, what is his future in the sport after that?
Yeah, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's 37 years old. This guy has been through a lot of fights, so anytime you're looking at somebody like that, the word retirement starts to creep in. But I don't think Wanderlei Silva is going to retire. He's not going to retire off of a drug test, a skipped drug test, I guess is what you would call this. This is one of those guys, man, and you see this in combat sports every now and then, who's probably going to fight until he's in his mid-40s. He is going to fight until people force him to stop. So I think that he'll sit out the suspension. The UFC has already said they're going to keep him on roster. So I think he'll serve his suspension, then he'll come back and we'll see him in the octagon again.
That's ESPN MMA writer Brett Okamoto. Brett, thanks.
Thanks, Kerry.
I'm Kerry Chow with your latest ESPN headline.